Hey guys, Account Second here, and this is the info video for the Season 18 of the NURA Pokemon Cup Series. First, we're going to go through the 42 drivers that will compete this season, and then we'll go through the schedule for the season. Now, keep in mind, some drivers, some numbers have their paint schemes changed from the sign-up, so some of them are not going to have the same paint scheme that was in the sign-ups video. I changed some of the numbers, paint schemes, just to make it a little bit more good looking, you know what I mean. Make it more modern, more current, and sometimes a little bit retroness added to it. So I try to make this a little bit more realistic. So anyway, and everyone gets a fair shot. So everyone gets 100 ratings, 100 everywhere on all drivers, so that everyone gets a fair shot and it becomes as competitive as possible. So anyway, here are the drivers that are going to be competing here in Season 18. Let's start off with the one machine. He runs the NES Light Series. It's James Joseph. He'll be making his Pokemon Cup debut in the number 1 machine. Trent Dunham was in the number 1 last season, but Dunham, I think he is not in NURA anymore, so he's dropped out, and Joseph is in. And then number 2, one of the retro schemes this season, we have Dillon Young in the number 2. He's returning this season. He also runs in the NURA Racing banner with his NRSL leagues. And then number 3, making his triumphant return to the series, is Stephen Pollard III. Fitting that he has the number 3, and he's the third in his family. So it's a very fitting return for Stephen Pollard III. We're glad to have him back. In the number 4 machine, we have O'Neal Balvin, one of the former finalists in a Pokemon Cup series, and now he's looking to redeem himself again in a new ride, in a new team. Returning in the number 5 from last season's finalist, Austin LaPlante, back in the new paint scheme for Aquafina Water. In the number 6, the Pichu Cup winner, even though she just missed out on a championship, Chloe Baker returns in the Advocare number 6 machine. In the number 7, a brand new paint scheme for Tommy Baldwin Racing, a new sponsor, and a new driver. We have William Brock in the number 7 this season. He's a rookie. He's one of the few rookies this season. In the number 8, we're bringing the number 8 back, but it's not the number 8 you guys remember from the Dale Jr. days. It's just the number 8 I just happened to find, and I figured why not add it. It's Ragu, and it's Kyle Collins. Collins will be in the number 8 this season. In the number 9, we have Zachary Fitzwater. Returns for Richard Petty Motorsports in Twisted Tea. In the number 10, a new sponsor for the number 10 team, Nature's Bakery, and a new driver, Desiree Voyles, returns. She makes her debut relative to Daniel Voyles, as the Voyles team is sending Desiree for the first time ever. Another rookie occupies the number 11 Joe Gibbs FedEx machine. That's JT Bryant. Bryant will be driving the FedEx Express machine as a rookie. In the number 13, returning for a full-time ride, Avi Saks for Germain Racing. And he's back in a full-time ride. In the number 14, we have Mason Wood. He's also returning. And he has the Bass Pro Shops retro paint scheme. One of the few drivers with retro paint schemes, by the way, for this season. We just saw number 3 and one other driver, number 2, with a retro paint scheme. In the number 15 for AAA, a new sponsor and representing Michael Waltrip Racing, Jeffery Finguy. Finguy in a new ride. In the number 16, keeping his old ride from previous seasons ago, is Joseph Srigley. Srigley representing Clean Performance Products and Roush Fenway Racing. Also another Roush Fenway car. For Juicy Juice this season, the 17, it's Ryan Kasey. Kasey is in a new ride. We used to see him in the 41. He's now in the 17. So we'll see how he does with his new ride. And the 18, making his return to the Pokemon Cup Series, it's Philip Goldberg. And he even keeps his 18 from previous seasons, although he has a new paint scheme with Red Nose Day. In the number 19, Luke and Leia Walker, they've swapped rides. Leia's in the 19, Luke is in the 22, and Luke is sporting the Retro Pennzoil Darlington paint scheme, and Leia Walker has a new sponsor for the 19 Toyota Care. In the number 20, another rookie, and it's a female rookie. It's for representing the DeWalt Joe Gibbs team, Jessica Emery. Noah Pontzer in the 21 returns for Wood Brothers Racing, and he returns in his same ride he had last season. Of course, you have your defending series champion, John Arndt, returning in his number 24, and he has a new sponsor, Drive Dan Hunger. In the 25 is Brandon Nichols. Nichols is back, and he has a brand new ride in the number 25 for Hedrick Motorsports. And Benjamin Miles is also returning, but he'll be in the 26 for BK Racing. Fetty McDowell, another returning veteran in the series. He's in the number 27 for RCR. He was in the 78 last season. Sean Harple returns in the 31. He had 2 wins last season, but I forgot to put him in the chase, unfortunately for me. So he gets to have another shot at the championship this season. Hopefully I won't make the same mistake with another driver this season. I'll try my best, because there's so much winners I really couldn't keep track very easily, so I just lost him, and unfortunately he didn't get in even with 2 wins. And so, to make up for it, he gets a ride this season. He has a new sponsor, by the way, Granger. Number 33, new sponsor for RCR, Acme Markets, and a new driver in the wheel is DJ Kurtis. Kurtis is back in the series, and another returning veteran takes over the old Wood Brothers 34 for Front Row Motorsports, Sean Chumra. Sonic Dash, as he's referred to. Number 35, representing the Diet Coke team for Front Row Motorsports, or Coca-Cola as you call it, Jonathon Fitzwater. Well, I think he might be related to Zach Fitzwater, might be brothers, I'm not sure, relatives or something, but yeah. In the number 38, a returning veteran in Front Row Motorsports, loves travel stops, Jacob Lawlor. Then we have another rookie in the 41 for State Water Heaters, Matt Johnson. Matt Johnson looks to make his name for himself. Number 42, returning from his old number last season, Tony Green, but he has a new sponsor, Viva Vantage, for Earnhardt Ganassi. In the number 43, representing Nathan's Famous Hot Dogs for Richard Petty Motorsports, Cody Hagen. In the 46, in a part-time ride, there'll be several different drivers in the 46, but the season's going to start off with Ryan Acosta riding in the 46. The 2-time NASCAR Pokemon Pro Series champion. He has a ride, part-time ride in the 46, and there'll be other drivers taking the 46's place during the World Tour, the All-Star Race, and the Chase. Keep an eye out. In the number 47, a former champion returns. It's Jonny Gardner. He's back to hoping to win his second championship in the 47. The 48 is Levi Pascoe, another rookie in the Hedrick Motorsports machine. He had the retro scheme in the sign-ups, but now I've decided to change it to the Reds paint scheme from Lowe's because it looked better on the track, honestly. And I'll probably use the retro scheme one form or another soon, somewhere. And the number 51, representing H. Scott Motorsports, Seth Cole. Brand new 5-Hour Energy sponsorship in that car. Seth Cole is back as well. Isaiah Burniche takes over the 55, but now it'll be occupied by Toyota as Gibbs Waltrip Racing. And the 78, the new driver for Furniture Row Racing, Dylan Theroux in the 78. That is Mason Powers in the 88, representing Hedrick Motorsports and Halo 5. One more note, Eric Powers will drive this 88 in some races as well, so the Powerses will share the 88 in some form or another in the future. The 95, of course, is Power Quest, the guy who made NURA. And finally, yours truly, Pichu, is in the 99. So that's all the drivers competing for Season 18. Here's your schedule and the races for the season. Here are your races for Season 18. Here's the schedule. We start off at Daytona, of course. And then the next two races will also be in Florida. We're moving Homestead to the second race of the season, called the Drive Time 400, and then the Auto Nation 500 from Orlando International Speedway. You know, Orlando's the track where it goes opposite of usual super speedways. That'll be fun. And then we go to Rockingham, and it's the one in North Carolina, the North Carolina Educational Lottery 400 from Rockingham USA, and then the Atlanta Hawks 500 from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Then followed by the NBA 2K16 400 from Chicagoland. And then it's followed by our triumphant return to Kentucky Speedway for the Quaker State 400. And then Blue Ridge Speedway returns to the FiOS 500 at Blue Ridge. And then the MyMixify 500 from Coca-Cola Super Speedway. And then we return to Gateway International Raceway, the Gateway Arch 300. And then Talladega Super Speedway hosts the FanDuel 500. And the Super Snack 500 will be the last race before the World Tour. Speaking of which, here's the World Tour. First up, we head to our debut race at Le Mans Circuit in France. Le Mans, the world-famous endurance track, hosts its first Pole Mont Cup race, hosting the Air France 100. And then we will head for dual races in Barcelona, Catalunya in Spain for the Forza Motorsport 6 Grand Prix. And then the return to Brno Circuit for the Czech Duels of Sprint. These races, Spain and Brno, will have duels in them, as we're trying to reduce dual weekends, so to speak. Then it's the Aris 250 at Estoril in Portugal. And then the Under Armour 200 from Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. And then the return to Bajkarneki in Latvia, the Subway 325. And then the Velton, and then Paris. We're going to make our debut at Autodrome de Paris, the track, the super speedway that hosted IndyCar races. Now it'll host Pokemon Cup races for the first time. The Fear the Walking Dead 350. And then the annual Veltons Mud Classic is back. The Veltons Arena had a wild finish last season. We're coming back to this track this season. Then the Santander Showdown from Rockingham, UK. The one in UK. That'll be fun. And then we return to Mexico City, Adromo Hermanos Rodriguez, the Grupo Bimbo 500. And then the dual weekends, a double header in Canada. First in Montreal, Circuit Gilles Villeneuve for the NHL Legacy Edition 400. And then we return to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, the NHL 16 400. And the last race before the chase, it's going to be very interesting. It will now be dual races in Suzuka. So the chase will be set after Suzuka. And that'll be very interesting. It'll be a big twist for these drivers, and last chance pretty much to get in to the chase. That'll be interesting. And then, as you know, we have our All-Star race. This season is going to be at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Indy will host All-Star Weekend for the first time ever. That'll be really fun to watch. And then we have our 10 race chase, and we will explain. We have a big change for the chase. We'll explain it to you after we get through these races. And first we go to Las Vegas, the Busch 400. Then the Auto Club 400 returns at Auto Club Speedway. And then 349, the Turn of Death 500 at 349 in Canada. And then Old Spice returns with the third installment of the Old Spice Classic. Then we have Zombie Spaceport, the Mad Max 500. And Greensville Spartanburg returns with a Gamecocks 500. And then the Southern 500, Brickyard 400, and Coca-Cola 600 will all make the final four races. And finally, we have Zanjoltis, as always, to determine our champion. Our 18th installment of the championship race, where a champion will be crowned. And now let's explain to you what's going to be, what changes are coming for this season. The big change is that, as you know, the chase is going to have a little bit of a change. Well, you don't know already, but I'm letting you know. The chase is going to be changed up a little bit, and what I mean by that is that we'll still have 16 chasers this season, but we will have no elimination rounds in the 10-race chase. There will be no 4 driver elimination rounds in the chase. There will all be 16 drivers up until the championship race at St. Joltis. And how it will work is that if you win, you basically get into the championship. So a win in any of the 9 chase races before the championship race, a chase driver win gets them into the final round, into St. Joltis, regardless of where they finish in the next couple races. So that means we may have more than 4 drivers competing for the championship, and that's all I got to say. So anyway, the series starts soon. This is the account second here, and I'll see you later.